it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the daily support resistance pivot levels. It is Tuesday the 13th of October. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks and the daily support resistance and pivot levels. Slightly bearish start to the morning. Gonna need to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 11,470 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 11,830. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally again on the day to support a breakout from yesterday's high that was at 11,740. So expect the first major resistance level to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of a breakout, could see Bitcoin visit 12,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sitting at 12,099 should limit any upside, however. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 11,201 into play. Barring another extended sell-off, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 11,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 10,841. Looking at the MACDs, we're seeing a marked narrowing of the bullish histograms and a possible bearish cross there, so need to keep an eye on that through the morning. On the EMAs, we're also seeing the 50 flatten out against the 100 and the 200, so nothing conclusive there. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through to sub 11,500s and the pivot level at 11,470 to support a run at 11,800 levels to then bring 12,000 levels into play. Moving across Ethereum against the US dollar, slightly positive start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid a fall through the pivot at 382.56 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 399.36. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high, 395.18. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect the first major resistance level and resistance at 400 to pin Ethereum back. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level sitting at 412 to limit any upside. Fall through the pivot, bring the first major support level sitting at 369.95 into play. Barring extended sell-off, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 360s. The 38.2% fib at 367 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD after yesterday's bullish cross, we're seeing a marked narrowing of the bullish histograms and a possible bearish cross coming up. So going to need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, slight widening of the 50 from the 100 and the 200, supportive of this early move north. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 382.56, break back through to 390s to then bring the first major resistance level and 400s into play. Across to Litecoin against the US dollar, it's a bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 50.48 to support run at the first major resistance level sitting at 51.68. Going to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 51 levels and break out from yesterday's high 51.55, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, expect a visit to 52 levels. Second major resistance level at 52.74 should limit any upside. Ready to move through the pivot, will bring the first major support level sitting at 49.42 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should stay clear of the second major support level sitting at 48.22. Looking at the MACDs, we had a late bearish cross yesterday and a widening of the bearish histogram this morning, supportive of this early pullback. We're also seeing the 50 EMA flatten out and narrow on the 100 and the 200, also supportive of the bearish start to the morning. So failure to break back through the pivot and move through to 51 levels will bring the first major support level and sub 49s into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, slightly positive start to the morning after an early pullback. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fall through the pivot at 0.2546 to support a run at the first major resistance level that's sitting at 0.2601. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high. That was at 0.25843. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, second major resistance level at 0.2640 would likely come into play. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 0.2507 into play. Buy and extended sell-off on the day should steer well clear of sub 0.24s. Second major support level sitting at 0.2451 to limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, we're seeing a narrowing of the bullish histograms and a possible bearish cross, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, seeing the 50 stand its ground on the 100 and the 200, however, supportive of this steady start to the morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through that pivot, break out from yesterday's highs, should support a run through to 0.26 levels.